So with this guy in attendance, Detroit Lions wideout Amon-Ra St. Brown did the Trump dance after he scored a touchdown against the Washington Commanders. We shouldn't leave out Jameson Williams joined in as well. If one is somehow unfamiliar, remember, this is how the President of the United States dances. He's not one to move his body, as we know from his admission that working out is a net negative, and the fact he never walks on the golf course. As pro wrestler Dave Bautista noted, Trump simulates a jerk-off motion with both his arms and hands. St. Brown now joins staunch MAGA loyalist Nick Bosa, who is out for the season with the Niners, and United States men's national team star Christian Pulisic, who did the same.
Yo, what's up? It's Amon-Ra, your favorite player from the Detroit Lions. Are you tired of choosing between healthcare and faith? Well, you no longer need to with Unite Healthcare Ministries. UHSM gives the best of both, plus they're giving 4 tickets to the Lions vs. Packers game January 9th, a meet and greet with me, and a signed jersey. Learn more about UHSM today. Call 888-949-8476 and enter today to win this giveaway. Details below.
For St. Brown, maybe we shouldn't be all that surprised. Notice who he's shilling for. United Healthcare Ministries. John Oliver covered this for Last Week Tonight some time ago. Some ministries, like Liberty, ran ads on Glenn Beck's media network, The Blaze, and even sponsored CPAC. So what exactly are healthcare sharing ministries? Using our example of Liberty, and there are tons, by the way, via ProPublica. It's a nonprofit alternative to medical insurance rooted in Christian principles. Hundreds of thousands of people rely on such organizations for basic health coverage. They promise no red tape, lower costs, and compassion for the sick. The issue, of course, is this. They make promises, but leave them unkept. Take Bethany Stoll, a Washington resident who wanted to cut costs for healthcare. She would tell King 5 and its viewers to not trust them. Every single time I got a big invoice from the doc, and it said, patient's responsibility, and it was 100% of the bill, she said. Georgetown.edu would write the following in a very, and I mean very important piece. Despite a history of fraud and unpaid bills, HCSMs are largely a black box for insurance regulators and the general public. Trinity, an HCSM administered by the company Illyria, recently went bankrupt. At least 14 states have taken action to shut down Illyria because of their malfeasance. Members suing the company are only expected to recoup 1 to 5% of the money they are owed, which can amount to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Recently, the North Dakota Attorney General settled a suit with HCSM Jericho Share for creating a false impression that its products are health insurance and using that false impression to sell memberships. Thus, it is not surprising to see storylines and also people being directly affected like this. D. Dunphy called a rep at OneShare after $40,000 in hospital bills were unpaid for from a stroke he had. That person on the other end of the phone told Dunphy, rather bluntly, that they are not an insurance company, they're just a service for the Christian faith. Dunphy recalls that person telling him that they would pray for his health. This is the business model that it appears Detroit Lions star wideout Amon-Ra St. Brown is using his platform to support and also likely, probably financially benefit from. Maybe the warning signs would have been there all along. Here is Brown captioning, "She made it home," of his Tesla Cybertruck, showing support for Elon Musk's company. So to recap, he is from Orange County, California. We know about this area. We have covered this area many, many times. He speaks fluent German. He drives a Tesla Elon Musk Cybertruck. He is involved in a messy business where some, even on the Better Business Bureau's website, have said it's a straight up scam. And when he scored a touchdown against the Commanders in Landover, Maryland, he made it a point to, after scoring, point to where Donald Trump was in the stadium and do the Trump dance. I must ask, what happened to keeping politics out of sports from this side of the political aisle? University of North Carolina history professor Matthew Andrews told the Post, and this remains blatantly true even after Pulisic, this is definitely a contradiction of the conservative maxim to keep politics out of sports, something we heard endlessly from Trump and his supporters in 2016 as a way of further rejecting and silencing Colin Kaepernick's statement. Over the years, what I've realized is that when someone says keep politics out of sports, what they mean is keep those politics out of sports. Here's my personal view. Doing a dance that mimics Donald Trump is stupid, Howard wrote, because whether it's the president of the United States or my neighbor down the street, I would never back someone who I believe is racist. Because what gets me is that we have covered this storyline so many times, right? So many times. And all we heard for the longest time was how we must separate politics and sports. We must keep politics and sports separate. Oh, here's Donald Trump on my TV, on NFL Red Zone, and during the Commanders game for 10 minutes, where he's saying, oh, really big play here on 2nd and 9 for the Commanders as they're down 20 points, was it? So not only does this man know dick about football, but he's also up here attempting to call plays and getting glazed by the broadcast booth, which includes Marv Albert's kid and Jonathan Vilma. That was an embarrassment. An absolute embarrassment. But for Trump, there's plenty. Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/tytsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.